So first, we need to understand what is security. Very basic question. What is security? Right? What is security? What is security? So security can be physical security, security can be a cyber security or personal security, any form of security. What is security? Have you thought about it? You can see sometimes security servicemen like police, military, they offer you security. And sometimes we know security guards, they provide you security. And sometimes bodyguards, they provide you security. What actually they do, right? So we can discuss security, con- you know, referring to three major components known as CIA. Probably you are familiar with these. These are known as confidentiality, integrity, availability. Any form of security, we are addressing these three. Apart from this, there are other two concepts known as authenticity. The other one is non-repudiation, right? So altogether, there are 5 attributes, but from out of 4, main 3 are these 3, also known as CIA Triad. CIA Triad. So then, as a security professional, what we have to do as a cybersecurity professionals, or even for that matter, a physical security or policemen, everyone who are into security, what they have to do is making sure these attributes are secure, or maintaining these attributes. So the first one, what is confidentiality? What do you mean by confidentiality? Confidentiality is making sure the resources or data only accessible by authorized people. Resources or data accessible by only authorized people. Then who are the authorized people? Even sometimes we have, forget about this. Sometimes we say, all right, it is confidential, right? So sometimes whenever somebody asks, do you know this? We say, oh no, it's confidential. But among a group of people, it is known. It is known. But still, out of the group, it is confidential. So what is confidentiality? Meaning, you would have access to the information or the resources only if you are an authorized person. Before we talk about authorization, let's talk about this one. This is important as well. Authenticity. Security start from authentication. It is the same for the physical security, personal security, or cyber security. So that's the reason whenever police reach you, the first thing they would ask is, can I have your identity card? Okay. And even you're traveling from Sri Lanka to any other country, at the airport, they would ask, can I see your passport? Why? They need to validate you are the same person that you are claimed to be. So let's say if Harsha, if police ask, can I see your, if they ask, what is your name? You can say, I'm Harsha. But instead you can say, I'm Kushantha, or any other name, right? Because you can impersonate anyone. But they would ask for evidence. So evidence is your identity card. Usually it has to be not like Sri Lankan identity card with over very old photo 20 years ago you have taken, then you can't actually validate. But when it comes to concept, that's the reason we say that recently taken photograph. So then you got photograph on your NIC card and also the passport, and they can validate you with your face, which is in there, and the information are there like your first name, last name, family name, birthdays, and so on and so forth. And then actually in order to meet this security concept, whenever government is releasing national identity card or passport, they have to go through certain protocol. That's why whenever you want to get your identity card in Sri Lankan context, because many of you are Sri Lankans, so you will have to fill up a form and go and meet GS, Gram Sevak, GS. Why? So he is the person authorized by the government who knows you in person. Government authorized official or officer who knows you in person to validate your harsha. And then he signs saying that because he knows you, he knows your parents, and he knows your background. Usually, he is the person who knows about you in person. So he fill it up, and then you are going to the next level. You're going to provincial council or whatever the council to validate your identity. So once done, whoever check your identity card knows this is validated through a security channel and it is you. So that is known as authentication. But when it comes to, and even you're traveling, they will first questioning you with your passport to see, validating you are the person that your claims to be. You are the same person that your claims to be. Just try to understand the whole concept. And then when it comes to cybersecurity, what's the difference? In cybersecurity, nobody would see your physical appearance when you're trying to authenticate. Whenever you enter username and password, unless your biometrics are enabled, nobody would see. When you're trying to access your Gmail, Facebook, they wouldn't see your face. They wouldn't see this is Harsha who's going to access this. That's the reason we created a virtual identity called user ID, right? To say, I am so and so. That is known as your username. We're entering our username. And then there should be a way to validate. If you have national identity card, they can validate it with your photo and your face. But when it comes to cybersecurity, you cannot do that. Because of this reason, we have given one more attribute to validate or verification known as password. And then if you enter your password with this combination known as authentication. This combination is known as authentication. Username, valid username, and the password. From that we can validate, all right, this is Harsha. And there are so many attacks launched by threat actors to manipulate this, this activity. There are so many password cracking mechanisms that we're going to be talking about during our session. Password cracking techniques, right? Brute forcing, dictionary attacks, password spray attacks, like attacks. Because of this reason, we wanted to make it solid. We wanted to make it strong. So that's where we use multiple additional concepts called password strengthening. We ask you to enter complex password, combination of capital letters, simple letters, digits, special characters, and so on and so forth. Even that is not enough today's world. Because of this, we introduce something called two-factor authentication now, or multi-factor authentication now, right? To make the authentication stronger. I hope you understand. And once authenticated, does it provide complete confidentiality? No. It doesn't provide complete confidentiality. Because in our environment, or in any environment, almost all the users would have credentials, meaning information to authenticate yourself, identification and verification. Because of this reason, we need to have, because the next one is, do you think all the users in your organization would have access to all the resources in your organization? No. There is a hierarchy, organizational hierarchy. So then what does it mean is, some of the information, crucial information, will only be accessed by senior management like chief finance officer, chief executive officer, chief information officer. All these guys will have access to highest confidential information of the company. And then the next level people like medium management will have access to some level of information. So that is known as authorization, guys. So this is authentication, and then authorization is level of access. what is the level that you have access to? So in that case, junior people have access to common information or common data, or the medium management will have the next level of data, and then senior management will have access to sensitive information. So that is known as authorization. Then the question is, does authorization offers you complete confidentiality? Answer is no, not complete confidential, because the reason is, now let's take an example. Let's say Harsha is a let's say senior manager, and you have username and password valid to access your company information, and then you're accessing your cloud or whatever the solution in your organization. You authenticate yourself with username and password. You're authorized to access some confidential data stored in your organization, and then for your use, you download this to your personal machine, let's say laptop. You download this sensitive data to your laptop. Up to this point, security is perfect. But what if there is a threat actor, the bad guy, steals your laptop? He steals your laptop. So then, even though we've got authentication, authorization, everything goes, haywire, because the reason is this guy has stolen your physical device, which has confidential data. Now this guy can access your confidential data without authentication and authorization. Because of this reason, we do something called encryption to making sure that data is converted to unreadable format where no one will be able to access without a key. We will be covering this on the 20th module, cryptography, right? So don't worry about this now. So then we will be encrypting. Once encrypted, then this guy, even the device is stolen, your data will be safe because he will not be able to access it. So because of that, we can offer higher level of security with encryption. And encryption has to be concentrated during data at rest, data in transit. Whenever you store data, when you're transferring data, we need to concentrate confidentiality. And then the next one is integrity. Integrity is making sure data or the resources are not, cannot be modified by unauthorized people. So authorization is very important, right? So unauthorized people shouldn't be able to modify, change your data or information. That is known as integrity. So availability is making sure the resources or data is available for authorized people as and when required. Okay, and then non-repudiation is making sure the users are liable for their own communication. For example, if user send a threatening mail to another person, we should be able to, take actions, make user liable. So we need to configure certain configuration settings and use respectable tools in order to prevent it. So this is known as kind of a security. I hope you got kind of understanding. And then all the attacks in the world are targeting one or more of these attributes or properties. Either confidentiality attack, let's say all the password attacks are authentication based attacks. They're targeting authentication property. And then all the cryptography attacks are targeting confidentiality related attacks. And the session hijacking kind of attacks are targeting integrity. Denial of service, distributed denial of service kind of attacks are targeting availability. So you can see each and every attacks targeting these properties. So as a security professionals, what we should be doing is protecting these elements as much